there.
Right, I guess you will.
I start next month.
Okay, well, good luck, I guess.
Hey, Jack. What the hell are you doing at Viral Trading, nerd boy? I just saw you walking down the corridor with my manager. Is he showing you around for your new temp job or something? Yeah, that must be it. Some of the boys were talking about a new temp starting soon. Is that you? I bet I know what this is. You got all jealous when you heard I got a spot at Viral Trading. So you figured you'd try your luck, didn't you? I bet you couldn't bear to see the fact of me zooming ahead of you on the path to success and wanted to steal some of my glory. Am I right? Well, in that case, but I very kindly take it upon myself to train you up. Looks like your desk is going to be next to mine, so this is perfect, actually. That's not all. I hear the CEO of our parent company is coming in for an inspection today. Who knows? He might be so blown away by my immense work capacity, incredible good looks, wit, charisma, charm, and humility that he gives me a full-time contract at the parent company. How about that? All right, enough chit-chat, nerd boy. Get your ass over here right now. It's time for your training. Oh yeah, and from now on, you will always greet me by lowering your head and saying the following. Sir Biff, your excellence, please do me the kindness of gracing me, the big pea-brain moron, with your infinite wisdom. Hey, Jack, what the heck do you think you're playing at? You've been slacking off for a whole hour now. That's not all. I can see you're not reading my messages. There's no tick on them, nerd boy. You've got some nerve to ignore your direct supervisor like this. After I kindly offer to train you up, no less. If you carry on with this insolent attitude of yours, I'll have no choice but to hunt you down and show you what happens to any pitiful fool who dares to defy me. That noise you made was awesome. I can still hear it in my head. I stealthily crept up from behind as you idly chatted in the hallway like the useless slacker that you are, and slapped your butt cheek with a ruler as hard as I could. Yeah, that worked so well, I think I might have to use it again. As your official supervisor, this is just what I needed to keep your ass in line. Which means, Jackie boy. It's time to drop your cocky attitude, you filthy, disgusting temp worker. If you don't hurry up and get to your desk, I'll come and slap that ass of yours again, you disobedient little peon. Want to get spanked with a ruler again? Or is the butt going too easy on you? I know. How about I hit you over the head with it instead? Or should I go for the back? Whack! I bet I could get a nice shot on your back. The sound would be like music to my ears. Whoop.
Biff, you've only been at this company for a month, right?
So what? I'm still a million times more important than filthy temp scum like you. It's time you learned your place, worm boy.
Good grief. You should at least know the name and face of the CEO of your parent company.
Huh? Jack, what the heck is going on here?
Hello, Biff.
Why would a temp worker be the CEO? Not just that, but the CEO of our parent company.
Yep, that's right. I'm the CEO of Viral Holdings, parent company of Viral Trading.
How could a pathetic temp worker like you ever become the CEO of anything? You have no professional achievements to speak of, and no one respects you.
You seem to be making lots of assumptions and misunderstandings here, Biff. But like I tried to tell you before, there was a reason I went into temp work instead of finding a proper full-time job at a company like the rest of you guys back when we graduated college.
A reason?
But he didn't want me to go into a green and so he told me to get a year or two's worth of temp agency experience so I'd know what the professional world was like before I took on the title of CEO. I did as I was told and spent 2 years working as a temp at various companies. After that, I started working at my dad's company and learned a bunch of stuff from the other employees. I finally got appointed as CEO a year ago.
What? You didn't tell me anything about this back in college.
Why would I tell you in the first place? Besides, I already learned the hard way that you should never tell people more than they need to know about this kind of thing, because it only ends up coming back to bite you in the ass. I figured I was better off keeping it quiet. Anyway, it's the kind of thing you go around telling people about, is it?
What the hell? But if you had told me you were CEO, I never would have done it.
My left butt cheek is all red and swollen because of your little stunt with a ruler. Whether I was a CEO or a temp employee is irrelevant. You do not go around slapping people's butt cheeks with rulers. That's unforgivable behavior in any workplace. Surely even you understand that. Not only that, but who do you think you are taking it upon yourself to be my supervisor and task yourself with the role of disciplining me? You can't seriously think the company would entrust such an important role to the newbie on his trial period who's barely been at the company a month? Who exactly do you think you are?
Well, it's common knowledge that temp workers are pretty much like subordinates to workers with proper contracts. That's why I took the initiative with training you up.
I'm pretty sure there's nothing like that written in the company rules. Besides, you do know there are some very talented temp workers who make more than regular employees.
What?
Wow, you didn't know that either.
No,
Anyway, you'll find out how we'll be dealing with you when your manager contacts you over the coming days. So for now, you're to do as you were told at the office and take a long, hard think about your behavior at home.
Hey, Jack, why the hell am I getting fired? This constitutes an unfair dismissal.
What do you want me to do about it?
You're the CEO of our parent company. Surely there's something you could do to help your friend out of this mess?
I heard you got into viral trading through personal connections, isn't that right?
Huh?
So the head of the HR department at Viral Holdings is your cousin, huh? I guess that explains why you thought you could get away with being so arrogant and domineering towards me and the other employees.
What's wrong with using available manpower? You guys needed a number cruncher and I needed a job.
There's nothing necessarily wrong with getting hired through personal connections, but only if it means bringing quality personnel into the company. In that case, I'm all in favor of it.
Then why question it?
That said, this might sound strange coming from the man himself, but you've been at the company a whole month and you still don't know the name or face of the CEO of your parent company. Due to your fatal lack of knowledge, when you saw me doing an inspection tour of the building, you assumed I was a new temp being trained up based on absolutely no evidence whatsoever. Then you came up from behind and slapped me with a ruler. And that's not all. I received a report from Sarah from admin that you hang around her department for hours at a time, making inappropriate sexual remarks and inviting her out on dates.
Hey, my love life is my own private business, so stay out of it.
Sarah is engaged. But you knew that, didn't you? You kept harassing her even though she refused you firmly time and time again and made it very clear she was in a relationship. You pestered her relentlessly, trying to use the fact you were the cousin of Viral Holdings' HR manager as a way to impress her by trying to seem like some kind of hotshot.
What's wrong with using the cards in my deck? Would you get mad at a poker player for using his ace?
The fact that you think having relatives at a company gives you license to act like a selfish, creepy weirdo is messed up to begin with. To frame this more in line with your own way of thinking, you're the worst card in our deck and we have zero use for you.
God, but why?
Want to know who Sarah's husband is? It's me.
What? What? Are you serious?
The reason I went to Viral Trading HQ for an inspection in the first place was because Sarah told me she was being sexually harassed by some weird new guy. When I asked her more about it, it became pretty clear to me the individual in question was you. It was clear to me at this point allowing HR to hire through personal connections had turned out to be an absolute disaster. Being a jerk to me over messages is one thing, but I had to draw the line at sexually harassing my employees, which is why I arranged to come and check on you under the pretext of a facilities inspection and made my way down to company HQ in person.
What?
And when I did, not only did you not realize I was the CEO of the parent company, but you mistook me for a temp and somehow felt that gave you full license to come over and physically assault me from behind with a long, hard object.
What? What kind of CEO are you? Who pulls crap like this? You can't do surprise inspections on your employees. That's not fair. What a dick move.
The only reason it was a surprise to you is because you still didn't have a clue who the CEO of the parent company was after a whole month. Whose fault do you think that is? Maybe if you had spent more of your time focusing on your work and familiarizing yourself with the company than sexually harassing my employees, you wouldn't be in this mess.
Oh my God.
Anyway, back to the topic at hand. The reason you're getting fired is because your problematic behavior became too serious to ignore.
God.
Oh, and you should know I'm considering filing for compensation from you for the assault in the hallway.
Compensation?
Or to be more precise, settlement money that includes compensation. I already filed the police report.
Police report? What the?
If you want me to drop the charges, then I suggest you pay me enough money that I'd be willing to settle this out of court.
Oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. What even is this?
This is the result of your actions, Biff. Is that so hard to understand? You'll be receiving a call from my lawyer over the coming days. It would be in your best interest to have a good think about what you've done and cultivate some self-awareness as to what a grade A moron you've been before that happens.
Are you serious? This cannot be happening.
After the events of today's story, I found out another interesting little fact. Apparently, Biff had recently been fired from another company before joining us. As a result, he found it difficult to find anywhere else willing to hire him, which is why he ended up getting into viral trading through personal connections. However, he seems to have made a fatal error in his understanding of what entering a company on personal connections means, because it certainly doesn't give you license to treat others like crap. Actions have consequences, and naturally, Biff's behavior led to him being fired once more. It came to my attention later on that Biff's department manager had been aware of his problematic behavior, but kept quiet about it. Naturally, that was unacceptable, so some harsh words were spoken and the necessary action taken. As for the compensation, my lawyer got in touch with Biff as promised, and realized he had no choice but to pay up or face legal action and jail time. I got every cent of what I asked for in a lump sum. Apparently his mom and dad were kind enough to help him come up with the money. But that certainly didn't mean he was off the hook. I heard his dad called in a favor with an old drinking buddy to get him a job at a fish factory, where he was forced to work grueling 12-hour shifts and kept in line by a manager nicknamed the slave driver in order to come up with the money to pay them back. Not only that, but he was forced to live in a broom cupboard at the factory until his parents had been repaid every last cent they lent their wayward son. I'm not sure why he chose me of all people, but I got a random SOS message from him one day. Naturally, I blocked him as soon as I realized who it was and carried on about my day.
Kate, I'm sorry. I don't think things are gonna go well for our wedding tomorrow.
Wait, Roland? What's going on?
Ever since this morning, my dad has been saying the craziest things.
Like what?
He was screaming and yelling at me about how I'm trying to mix uneducated, low-life blood into our elite families.
Low-life blood?
I was wondering what he was doing when he left the house this morning, but then he came home with papers in his hand. Then he screamed out, "This marriage is off," before coming to me. The way he spoke about everything was all over the place, but I was able to get the gist of things. He was talking about your family that whole time. He rambled on and on.
My family? What was he saying about us?
My mom and I were able to get him to go into his office, and we're both waiting for him to calm down before we ask that same thing again. I'm sorry to ask this, but if we haven't figured out anything with him by tomorrow, you mind heading to the wedding venue before me? I'm gonna let the staff there know about this, and we'll come moments before the wedding all starts. And when I can, I'll do my best to explain what all happens with my dad by that time.
Understood. You don't have to talk with me all the time, but I'd like to be updated on this when you have your hands free.
Sure, I'll try my best to keep in touch with you throughout today and tomorrow. And if I haven't been able to get back to you for
Oh, is this Roland's dad? Now that I think about it, the last time I saw you, I had given you my phone number, right?
This marriage is off!
We
We were just about to be completely fooled by you lowlifes. So, I'm not going to let you speak even one complaint about this marriage being off.
Can you tell me what's going on here? I'd like a proper reason for all of this nonsense.
You should know already without me saying anything. I should have expected that, though, from a bunch of brainless apes like you guys all are.
And what exactly do you mean by that? I can understand if this had something to do with only me, but asking for our marriage to not happen based off my family? Well, this doesn't seem to be about myself anymore, so I'd really like to know what's going on with you.
I guess I'll have to explain in order to get you to understand. Today, I learned from an investigator that both of your parents never graduated from high school back in the day. Are you not embarrassed by both of your parents being dropouts?
Embarrassed by something like that? So these things about my family being lowlifes and uneducated was specifically pointed at my mom and dad?
So that's what you're wanting to know about right now? Well, considering you had to be raised by those two monkeys, it only makes sense that you're unable to pick up on things normal human beings can. Now you listen very carefully, all right? In my family, every single one of us went to and graduated from a university. And if you'd like to know, they weren't just any universities, but only the best Ivy League schools in the U.S.
I don't really want to stomp on your parade there about people's educations, but I went and graduated from the same exact school as Roland.
And I'm sure you had to go there using federal grants and other things the government gives to the poor. You should have to go into debt in order to get an education.
I never received any grants or scholarships, and both my parents had to pay for me to go.
Stop lying to me. There's no way a couple of high school dropouts have that kind of money.
Sure, you're right that the both of my parents are different from most families and did not graduate from a university or anything. And considering that this world loves people that spend money to go to school over those that get an education outside of the normal system, they had to work really hard. But by the time I started to understand the real world, I wouldn't say that either of my parents were poor. Quite the opposite, actually.
I don't think a girl raised in a family of lowlifes has any idea what a proper family with money looks and feels like.
I really don't think there's much of a difference there, depending on the family one grew up in.
Anyhow, I will not allow for any of your foul, low-life blood to enter my elite family made up of only the most intelligent university graduates. We have no need for that disgusting blood in this family, so your marriage is off. I will not allow either of you to get married to one another. Don't you ever come around my elite You're carrying it out until the very end! What the hell do you think you're doing?
So instead of asking your son about that, you're going to text me?
I already ordered Roland not to get married to you, but him not listening to me and going through with the wedding anyway has to have been your doing for sure.
But the one that chose to make sure that you weren't going to be a part of this wedding was Roland himself. Both your wife and your younger son also agreed to this and have been telling everyone the reason you're not here is due to you being very sick.
Excuse me? I was led to believe that everyone was still home and didn't go due to the TV being left on in the living room.
From what I hear, besides when you go to the bathroom, you are locking yourself in your home study and not coming out, right?
Are you really telling me that everyone went along with the wedding and not having me there that easily?
To be honest, a lot of thought went into this, but from the very beginning, the both of my parents have been very fond of Roland. And when it came to you having a lot against them due to their education, they made sure to treat that as a completely different problem, allowing the two of us to still get married to one another.
So you're telling me that two uneducated chimps' thoughts carry more weight around everyone than an elite university graduate like myself?
You're still going on about that?
I sure am. In order to make this clear to you once again, in this world, those that have dropped out of high school and never made anything of themselves are nothing compared to an elite degree-holding man like myself.
So, even after all that's been done and said to you, you're not only going to still think like that, but still venture to say that the both of my parents are less than human?
There's nothing wrong with that, as I'm correct here.
Then there's no other option here. My mom and dad are ending that contract.
What? Contract? My position is in danger because of this.
I really don't understand why you're contacting me about that when I have zero to do with it.
Well, the man I asked to go and speak with your parents directly told me that they didn't want to hear a word from him.
Well, I can understand why that was. Now, allow me to explain the situation for you then. Originally, you were put in charge of making very good relations with an up-and-coming company that's making a lot of money right now. You were supposed to go and learn all about said company and make a partnership with it in order to help your company as well. Well, it just so happens that said company is run by my mom and dad, and that it is very important to you guys over there.
And this was the first time I'd ever heard about who your parents are, the moment I walked into the office and heard from my boss.
I spoke with you before about the location I've been working at, and that it so happens to be the same company my parents own and manage.
What?
When it comes to the cancellation of this major contract, the main reasons for it are that neither of my parents want to have relations with a company who employs people like you, who judge others based off their education and nothing else, and are willing to openly make horrible remarks about them. And that's what you were told by your boss today, right?
Please, Kate, can you please go and talk with your parents and explain to them that this was all a huge mistake on my part and will never happen again?
I'm really sorry, Davis, but even though I work within their company, I am nothing more than a simple office worker there. Naturally, that means I have no right at all to be telling them what to do with you, especially when you were personally making rude remarks about them.
You're the daughter of the CEO, though!
And if I abuse that position of mine, I will be fired.
Well, do something about that, then. Had I freaking known your parents were very important business partners, then I wouldn't have said those things about them, and would have been all for your marriage to Roland.
Well, that's not the topic of discussion right now, is it?
What?
No matter who the people you knew about were, the way you acted out and spoke about them was not okay for someone your age. The reason that this contract is being canceled now isn't just because of the way you acted towards the wedding yesterday.
What?
Some people have said that you're causing a lot of trouble for coworkers at your job that didn't end up going to college or anything like that, and joined the workforce right after high school. Are you sure your ways of judging and belittling people at such an egregious rate don't have something to do with you now?
Then what the hell am I supposed to do here? There's no changing the fact that I graduated from a university, and those employees are high school graduates, and your parents are middle school graduates. Those are all facts. What the hell am I supposed to do about all of that?
Unfortunately, you still don't seem to get what the problem really is with you.
Then what the hell is it?
Too late now, since you don't seem to care at all about fixing yourself and making there was a condition: remove the problematic employee from the new project. That problematic employee, as you might have guessed, was none other than my fiancé's father, Davis. As a result, Davis was demoted to a dead-end position, stripped of any real responsibility, and had his salary significantly reduced. His once prominent position in the company was gone, replaced by the shame of being sidelined in his professional life. This turn of events didn't just affect his career, though. It spilled over into his personal life as well. Soon after, Davis's wife, my mother-in-law, filed for divorce. I'll never forget the last time I saw her. As we were saying our goodbyes, she looked Davis straight in the eye and, in the calmest voice, said, "I think you're under a misconception. I'm not a college graduate, but a high school graduate." Davis, who had always prided himself on appearances, looked utterly stunned, as if he'd been hit by a bombshell. He didn't know what to say, and I couldn't help but notice how much that one comment affected him. This revelation might seem insignificant to an outsider, but for Davis, it cut deep. He had always acted with a certain arrogance, believing that his wife, his career, and his life were all perfect and prestigious. To find out that the woman he had been married to for years was not the educated upper-class partner he had assumed her to be must have been a huge blow to his ego. It was as though the foundation upon which he had built his sense of superiority was crumbling before his eyes. Not long after this, Davis chose to resign from his position at the company. Officially, it was a voluntary resignation, but everyone knew the truth. He was forced out. Whether it was due to shame, stress, or simply an inability to deal with the drastic changes in his life, Davis couldn't handle it anymore. He walked away from the career he had worked so hard to build, a career that had once defined his identity. However, walking away wasn't the end of his troubles. Davis was already in his late 50s, and finding a new job at his age, especially after the scandal that surrounded his name, proved to be impossible. He had burned too many bridges over the years, alienating colleagues and subordinates with his overbearing attitude. He had always believed himself to be untouchable, the kind of person who could say and do anything without facing consequences. But now, as he searched for employment, it became painfully clear that no one was willing to help him. From what I've heard, Davis is now living a life far removed from the one he once knew. Gone are the days of high-powered meetings, expensive suits, and the respect he commanded in the corporate world. Instead, he scrapes by doing day labor, picking up whatever odd jobs he can find just to put food on the table. The fall from grace has been steep, and the man who once lived in luxury is now struggling to survive. It's hard not to feel a mix of emotions when I think about Davis. On one hand, his downfall feels like the inevitable consequence of years of poor decisions, both in his professional and personal life. He treated people around him with disdain, always assuming he was better than everyone else. Whether it was his colleagues, subordinates, or even his family, Davis had a way of belittling those who didn't live up to his impossible standards. In the end, that arrogance isolated him, and now, when he needs the help the most, there's no one willing to offer him a hand. He was a man who built his career from the ground up, and in many ways, he deserved the success he achieved. But somewhere along the way, he lost sight of what truly mattered. And that's when everything started to unravel. As for his personal life, the divorce from my mother-in-law was the final nail in the coffin. Their relationship had been strained for years, but Davis had always assumed that his wife would stay by his side no matter what. In his mind, she was a part of the image he wanted to present to the world, an educated, cultured woman who matched his idea of success. But when she revealed that she wasn't the person he thought she was, it was a wake-up call. Suddenly, Davis realized that everything he had built was based on false assumptions. In the end, Davis's life is the cautionary tale of what happens when pride, arrogance, and poor judgment go unchecked. He had everything: career, family, status, but he took it all for granted. Now he spends his days doing menial labor, barely scraping by, while the world moves on without him. It's a lonely, impoverished existence, and it's hard not to imagine the regret he must feel as he looks back on the choices he's made. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story. Dad, can you start coming home right now?
Oh, Mary?
But you're on a business trip right now, aren't you? There's no way you can come all the way home now.
I'm sorry for taking so long to get back to you. If you have a lot to talk about, you can go ahead and start telling me it all now, since I'm about to get on the train anyway. By the way, what happened to you being at school? You shouldn't have the day off or anything like that today, right?
I have a fever and decided to come home early.
Wait, did you catch a cold or something?
Probably, yeah.
I see. You go get into bed then and warm yourself up and take some water into your room with you so you stay hydrated. There should be some medication in the pantry you can take if you start to feel even worse and cough more, all right?
But, Dad, I can't get into the house right now.
Huh? Did you forget to take the house key with you to school today?
I guess so. I went and changed my bag yesterday to a brand new one, and when I was moving all of my things over into it, I must have forgotten the house key.
Wait, but Mom should still be there at the house today, right? She told me she didn't have any plans to leave the house for today.
I heard that from her as well, but it doesn't look like she's home right now. I rang the doorbell over and over again, but she never came. As well as banged on the door some. And the man next door just came out and told me that about an hour ago, Mom left the house and hadn't come back yet.
What is she doing right now? And right now you have a fever, right? Do you think you can make it over to Grandpa's house just down the road? I heard that Grandma took the day off her part-time job as well, so she'll be home to take care of you. Let me call and ask them if it's fine for you to go there.
I should be able to make it out to their house soon.
Have a safe trip and be careful, please. I'm going to talk with my company and see if I can start heading home today to days or maybe even a week if I have to.
Wait, you have to be gone for up to a week?
What, is there something wrong with that?
Well, actually, during that time next month, I'm probably going to be going on a small trip out of town.
Well, that's pretty rare of you.
Well, look, a couple of months ago, I had that high school reunion, right? Back then, I ran into some old friends of mine again, and we've been talking a lot more ever since. And, we started to talk a lot about the field trips we'd go on and stuff like that in high school. And as we talked and talked and talked, we came up with a plan for a trip that all of us want to take together.
I see. So this all started because of that reunion?
If I really can, I'd love to be able to go on this trip, so I was wondering if it would be all right to leave Mary over at your parents' place for them to watch over her. I know that she's a high schooler now, but she can't be left home all alone for 10 days without me around, right?
That's a good point. I don't mind you taking some time to... That's right. I made sure to get out of the office and I'm on my way back home as we speak. I plan to have all of our things taken out of the house this afternoon in one go. So when you start coming home from school, make sure to go to that other house for me instead.
Just like we talked about before then? Understood.
I'm really sorry, though, getting you all caught up in your parents' issues like this.
Why are you apologizing for that, Dad? You haven't done anything wrong.
But, Mary...
Listen, if I have to be honest about all of this, I think I'm going to sound a bit bad. But currently, we have to do what we have to do, because that's the only way we can all be happy. So we should stop thinking about her and deal with all of that later. All right, Dad?
Mary... That's a good point, though. Right now we have to focus on the plans at hand.
Maybe it's my key that's broken, but I really don't think that it is. Do you have any idea what's up with the lock on the front door?
Welcome home, Marge.
By the way, are you even home right now?
I'm home.
Then could you please hurry up and come open the front door to let me inside?
I don't think it's going to help if I came and opened the door to the house.
What do you mean it wouldn't help?
Because the house that you're at is my previous house, right?
What? What do you mean by it being your previous house?
I moved.
Huh?
Sorry for doing this while you were out having that affair with another man, but Mary and I have moved out of there and are settled in here, so there's no reason for you to come back to us anymore.
What? Hold on a second. What was that about me having an affair? What are you going on about right now?
Are you going to try playing dumb with me now or something?
Are you seriously saying that I've been having an affair with another man?
Well, that's what I just said, wasn't it?
Oh, stop talking a ton of nonsense about me, please. I told you already that this trip was me and my old friends getting together to go enjoy ourselves. We literally talked about this already, right?
Really? So you like to go with your friends to hotels like that one?
What?
If that's the kind of place you're taking your friends to, and those are the kinds of things you do with them there, then I do not want to meet any one of them. And to think that the man is married himself.
Huh?
And to make things even more tough, he's the father of one of Mary's classmates. What I'm hearing so far is that you and him talk to one another a lot due to the fact that you both have kids in the same class. And that ended up with you in bed together for 10 days. I'm really trying to figure out how that could have happened so quickly, because if there's no good reason for it, that's all too strange. Honestly, you guys' reasoning might be something I can't comprehend.
How much do you know about this?
I know the things that are most important to me, so a lot of it.
What?
The reason I began to have doubts about you in the first place started the last time I had to leave town for work. I never ended up saying anything to you about this, but Mary ended up having a fever at school and took the rest of the day off to be at home. But when she made it home to a house where you should have been, she said you weren't there when she called me. After hearing from her that you were nowhere to be found, I ended up texting you asking where you were at. Do you remember that? You told me that you were at home, the same home that Mary said you specifically weren't at.
That's what that was all about? Now that I think about it, there was a time when she came down with something. But she told me that she had stayed at school the whole day and never took time off to come home.
That was because she didn't want you figuring out that we were onto you at the time. I guess she wanted to keep everything we thought about you a secret, though, because I never actually told her not to say anything to you. On that day, you were out with that other man, right? What the hell do you think you're doing at the age of 45 when you have a kid in high school?
You said that you both moved out of this house, right? Tell me where your new address is.
Why should I do that?
Why should you?
Why do you think I would keep us moving to a new house quiet from you?
But...
Mary really hates your guts now, Marge.
What?
On that day, on a rare day where she was so sick and needed to leave school to go home and rest, she came home to nobody being inside and having no way to let herself in. I'm sure she felt helpless as hell then. And after that, thinking when she'd talk with me I'd give her a reason for why you weren't home, we both had to learn that you've been having an affair. And that day you were out with another man who wasn't her dad. I think to a high school girl like Mary, learning something like that about her own mom is one of the most, if not the most, shocking things ever. So it makes sense why she hates you so much now.
But, I think that at least meeting once to talk all of this over.
That's not enough to get me to tell you my new address where we're living. Also, I have one other thing to tell you that's pretty important. Mary's changing schools.
She's changing schools? She's going to have to leave her current high school and go somewhere else?
That's what she wanted. How could she go to a school every day with a classmate whose dad has been going out with her mom behind her dad's back? It's too much for her to handle now, and with her having to apply for college in a couple years, she can't waste her time worrying about you anymore. So after thinking things through for a little bit, she decided to change schools. I wanted to do anything for her, and that's why I made sure to get us a house closer to where her new school will be.
No way!
I'm also transferring jobs.
Huh?
I had plans for something like this before, all right? I wanted to talk with you about it, but then I learned you were most likely having an affair and decided to keep all of this to myself. Then, soon after that, I learned that you were indeed going out with another man behind my back. I thought about how having to continue living in a house like that would ruin my daughter's and my own mental health, and chose to sell it.
What the hell? Where the hell am I supposed to go then?
How about you go back to your parents' house?
What?
I already made sure to send all of your things there. Also, the lawyer will be paying your parents' house a visit soon, so...
A lawyer?
There are a lot of things we have to decide on in the divorce, so I decided it would be best to have a lawyer involved in all of this. And, of course, your secret man is going to be involved in all of this as well.
Why do you keep carrying on with this conversation if you do something like that to me?
There's no reason to be worried about what everyone else is going to think about you now. Both your parents and that man's wife are well aware of what you've both been up to.
No way!
I'm just going to let you know right now, you don't have any allies in this.
No, doing all of that without me.
Remember, it was you who asked for all of this by having that affair, so could you at least cut it out with trying to blame others for your responsibilities?
No, at least not a divorce.
If you have anything to say about it, please go have a word with my lawyer. I don't want to talk with you anymore. Mary would like to start making a new environment here with me that is much happier than the one you've created. So stay out of the way of that, please.
Wait!
Her affair partner, but surprisingly, he chose to reconcile with his own wife instead. In a complete reversal, she immediately turned to me asking for reconciliation. When I refused, she apparently went to my parents' house, only to be shocked by the fact that a different family was living there. She was completely taken aback by this unexpected situation. I had already informed her that my parents had moved with me when I relocated, but it seems she had forgotten. In her panic, she caused quite a scene at the house. Afterward, she was severely scolded by her parents. Given that alimony and child support were part of the divorce settlement, her parents arranged for her to be transferred to a distant workplace. There, she's under strict supervision and seems to have finally come to terms with the situation. Now, from what I hear, she spends her days quietly working, going through her routines in silence. Thinking back on the sequence of events, it's almost surreal how quickly things escalated and then shifted again. My ex-wife had been so certain that her future lay with the man she had chosen over me, yet fate had other plans for her. I can't help but feel a sense of poetic justice in how things unfolded. The fact that her affair partner decided to return to his wife, abandoning her plans for remarriage, must have been a crushing blow to her. In that moment, she probably realized the gravity of her choices and the consequences of her actions. When she turned to me seeking reconciliation, I was already past the point of no return. The betrayal and hurt she had caused couldn't simply be undone with a request for forgiveness. I had spent countless sleepless nights agonizing over the situation, but by the time she asked to come back, I had made peace with the idea of moving on. Refusing her was my way of reclaiming my dignity and asserting that I deserved better than being her second choice. Her visit to my parents' old house still makes me laugh when I think about it. The fact that she went there expecting to find them, only to discover that a completely different family was living there, must have been quite a shock. I had clearly told her we had moved, but it's clear she wasn't paying attention, or maybe she was too caught up in her own world to remember. Either way, the scene she caused when she realized her mistake was both embarrassing and unnecessary. Her parents, who had always been somewhat strict, understandably didn't take kindly to her behavior. From what I gather, they were deeply disappointed in her choices. With the divorce settled, they arranged for her to be sent to a workplace far away where she could no longer easily meddle in my life or cause more disruptions. The fact that she's now under close watch means she's finally had to confront the reality of her situation. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Mom? Prom at the convention center downtown is over with now, so I'm going to head out to dinner with some of my friends before coming back home to you. We shouldn't be out too late tonight, and I might even have a friend of mine come over to stay the night as well, if that's okay. Sounds great, Danny. Just make sure you don't get that prom dress dirty while you're out having fun at the restaurant or wherever you guys plan to have dinner.
I'll try.
By the way, your sister's going to pick you up later on with her car.
Wait, really? Oh, that's such a huge help for me.
And if the rest of your friends are all heading back home in the same direction, she said she'd be happy to accommodate 3 others in the back of the car. So when you have Marv? Oh, it's been a long time since I last spoke to you through text. Isn't something like this a bit difficult for you? Or have you finally come around to getting used to texting people?
This has nothing to do with me and my texting abilities. I'm here to yell at you about how you went and stole my dress.
What? I never stole any of your dresses, though. And to start you off with a little bit of important information regarding us, I haven't been out to your place in the past 5 years. I remember you told me to stay away from your house the last time I'd been there, all because my daughter never ended up going to a private high school like your son's daughter has. And you told me that was a crime in your family. And sure, I've passed through town close by to your place before, but not once have I stopped to even say hi to any of you guys there.
So then you're saying you broke in and stole the dress? That means you must have made your own key for this house, so I'm asking that you hand that over to me now. Either that or I'll go ahead and change the locks to this house myself and have you pay for the fees.
I have neither broken into your house or used a spare key that I'd made to get into there.
Well, for the time being, I just want my dress back. And of course, I want you to have it cleaned before handing it back to me.
You want your dress cleaned?
If you hand that dress back over to me in the sorry state that you've most definitely left it in, then I'm going to make you pay me double for having stolen it from me. Mom, I just called and asked for Jessica to come and get me.
Danny, why do you seem so gloomy right now? And why are you already asking to be brought home when it's only been around an hour since you told me you'd be going out to dinner with your friends?
As we were walking down the street to head to the restaurant, we passed by Grandma's house. You know, Dad's mom's house. And as we were passing by it, I had red wine splashed all over the dress.
What? Marv? I just got a couple of text messages from Danny a few seconds ago, and I'm starting to believe that what she said to me has to do with this dress of yours, which you believe I broke into your house and stole from you? Does that mean you're the one that went out and threw red wine all over her prom dress as she was walking by?
That was me. As I had gone out to grab the wine I had ordered, which just arrived and would be given to Jasmine for her prom party, I saw your daughter out there wearing my dress as she walked by. No matter how one looked at it, it was very clear that you went and stole my dress from me so that she could have a dress to wear on the day of her prom.
I told you already I did not steal that dress.
If it were family that had done this to me, I could find a way to forgive them, but it was a stranger who stole my dress from my house.
A stranger?
I told you that you're no longer allowed anywhere near this house, this family, which makes you a stranger to my family. And for starters, I never once said that I was okay with you getting married to my younger son, and even though it's been 20 years now since you guys got married, I still do not forgive you for that. You are a thief who went and stole my son from me. And I just saw as your daughter of all creatures was out wearing the dress that you stole from me. I suppose thieves have to learn from somewhere, right? And that means she'll make for a good thief herself now. The reason I threw that red wine all over her and the dress was to make sure that you'd have to pay to have the dress cleaned, or else I would have never gotten over the rage that I was in. Getting rid of all those stains from that pearl white dress is going to cost you a lot of money, especially when those stains were made with red wine of all things. I'm not sure the dress will even be salvaged after that. This all feels so wonderful for me right now.
The one paying for that dress to be cleaned won't be me, but you, Marv.
Huh?
Don't you dare start crying about what'll happen with you later. Danny? Oh, this is about your prom dress from a few weeks ago. It took a lot of time and a lot of steps to have cleaned, but it's starting to look good as new now, with pretty much all of the stains gone.
Really? Oh, that's so great to hear.
Seems that your friend you were with at the time, who had the bright idea of patting off a lot of that wine the moment it hit your dress, was a hero that night. Make sure to go and tell them thank you for using up all of their tissues for that, please.
Will do. By the way, have you talked with Aunt May about any of that?
Just once.
And what did she say about all of this?
She was even more angry than I was at the time.
I'm sure she was. I mean, Grandma did something that would get anyone's blood boiling, right? Especially when that dress was something you had gotten from your grandma a long time ago and was still in mint condition.
That's right. Originally, that dress was given to my sister, Aunt May, after my mom didn't want it anymore, who then went and gave it to me. And when you turned 14, I handed it down to you because I was the only one of us to have a daughter in the first place.
And then with me, I remember how upset she was when she had to give it to you because she only had boys and no girls. And, well, that dress was almost ruined with wine, all because Dad's mom thought that the dress was hers for some reason, and that she had the right to call you and I thieves for having it? Mom, I really hate that Grandma so much, and I wish she'd just die. Like, seriously, I wish she would just kick the can already, because there's no way someone who hates their own son even should be alive.
For the time being, I think that a lot of this misunderstanding will be taken care of. And I was able to hear from Aunt May about how Grandma became so confused there and started to think that I had stolen that dress from her.
Wait, how could Aunt May know? Oh, that's right. Both your mom and Dad's mom went to the same elementary school when they were younger and were in most of the same classes, right?
That's what it seems like. But they weren't really that close, and one could say they actually hated one another back then. Well, with the past in mind, we are going to be making sure that jerk gets what's coming for her after what she did.
Listen here, Betsy. I have been waiting this whole time, wondering when you'd be giving me my dress back from that dirty daughter of yours, and was even being patient with the cleaning for it and everything. Now, what the hell do you think you're doing, making me pay for that dress to be cleaned instead of giving it back to me now?
I'm sure that the price it costs to have the dress cleaned is more than one would normally think, but it's not to the point you can't pay it off, right? And of course, that price isn't going to be enough to make you pay for having ruined my daughter's time after her prom, when she was just about to go out with all of her friends to have dinner that night. So I'll make sure to deal with you later on that one, since we've both gone and settled the bill for the dress's cleaning. So get to it, making sure that the bill is paid for on time.
I told you already that you guys went and stole my dress from my house and tried to use it as your daughter's prom dress. You are thieves!
Do you remember anything about my mom?
Huh? Your mom happened to be one of the girls that was in some of my classes throughout elementary school, right? And that was my number one reason for not wanting to let my son and you get married to one another.
And I know the reason for why you hate my mom. It's because you had your first love back then and went to him confessing your love and asking him to date you. But he turned you down, and did so because he said that he was in love with my mom and wanted her instead.
Huh? Why do you know about that?
I'm sure that you don't remember this, but back in the day, you really made a name for yourself after being so emotional, and that story spread throughout the school like wildfire.
What?
There were all kinds of things that you did throughout the years, and when it came time for you both to go to prom, the same sorts of things happened. My mom happened to wear a dress at that time that very much resembled yours, and you told her not to wear the same dress as you before dousing her in tons of water. But before she could become totally drenched, she was able to move out of the way with her very quick-reacting soccer player body, and was okay.
Oh, I remember all of that. I was in such a fury, wondering how much more that woman wanted to traumatize and hurt me back then before she'd be willing to leave me the hell alone.
And I hear she proved to you that the dress she had on only resembles yours a little because of a complete coincidence.
Huh?
In other words, you really only attempted to drench her completely over something that wasn't even that big of a deal and wasn't something she had done on purpose.
And so what? You're bringing up something that happened between your mom and I over 30 years ago, so what's the point in all of this?
So you still don't get it then?
What the hell are you trying to tell me?
Have you ever gone to see if that dress you think we'd stolen from you is missing from your closet yet?
What the hell are you talking about?
That dress that you threw red wine all over, which Danny had been wearing to prom, was the same exact dress that her mom wore, that I wore, back when you told me not to wear the same dress as you 30 years ago. That so happens to be my mom's dress, which she has passed along from generation to generation.
What?
It's a dress that my mom first handed down to my sister, who then handed it down to me, which I then handed down to my daughter for her prom. It is a history in my family of being worn to proms, and that is why I wanted Danny in it this year. So this whole thing about you saying I'm the one who stole your dress is yet another one of your ridiculous misunderstandings. Even after 30 years, you are still assuming that the dress my family has is the same dress as the one you own, right?
But I'm certain that you guys stole mine.
Also, I've heard that the dress you had for prom years ago was repurposed into a wedding dress, where there was a lot more volume added to it before you got married, right?
What? Oh, that might be true.
You can't tell me that you confused a simple prom dress with that of your very own wedding dress, right?
I understand that I shouldn't be confusing the two.
Then allow me to ask you one last time about this. Have you gone and taken a look in the closet to see if your dress is still there or not? And did you start to call my daughter and I a thief before or after you went and looked for your dress? Did you go out and ruin my daughter's dress on prom night after having gone and looked in your closet for the dress you just assumed we'd stolen from you? I'm sure you don't know this yet, but that dress is something that helped me remember my mom, who passed away 3 years ago.
What?
Are you going to apologize to me now that you're aware of that?
Betsy, where the hell have you all gone off to? I had to go over to your neighbor's place after ringing your doorbell over and over and over again, waiting for you to come out. And when I asked them what happened to all of you, they told me you all moved out of the house a few days ago. I never heard a thing about that.
I know, because we all moved away without ever telling you about it.
Huh? Why would you do something like that to me? We learned that the whole situation with that dress was because of a misunderstanding, right? And I paid you for the amount you were asking, so why?
Because we didn't want to have to deal with you coming after us once you'd paid me.
Coming after you guys?
You were told by your husband that he would be divorcing you now, and by your older son that he and his family would all be moving away from you now, right? Your husband came to us a few weeks ago, stating that there was a very high chance that you'd come out to find us at our house, and that it was best we left before anything like that happened.
Then, where am I supposed to go now?
How about you find yourself a job right now and start looking for a place to live before your husband goes and kicks you out of his house? I know of a few construction companies in town that are looking for help at the moment, so how does that all sound?
No way. I'm at that age now where it's way too difficult for me to do any sort of physical labor, especially something like construction work. Why would I ever want to go to some company where I'd have to be used to do physical labor like that? That isn't fair.
Those last couple of texts I received from my mother-in-law all came from her after she had gone over to our house and was trying to get us to come out and help her. After she had gone over and spoken with our neighbor and then ran back over to our front porch again to text us some more, she noticed Marv drop her phone onto the concrete and then keel over into a fetal position to start crying. And all she screamed about was why she had to go back to working at her age and nothing more. It was at that point that Marv then received texts from not only her husband but her son as well, updating her on their situations and ultimately her situation. Her husband sent her photos of the divorce papers as he was handing them in, saying that she had until tomorrow to be moved out of his house. And the messages from her older son were all about how he and his family were now moved into a new apartment and would no longer be seeing her anymore. These things all piled on top of what she was already screaming about, and that led to her throwing a temper tantrum on the porch. One of her husband's friends saw this happening on our front porch and decided to call around looking for places that would be willing to hire her. He then found someone who would be willing to hire her, and they told him that they'd be there to pick her up in no time. Before long, and right as Marv was getting up to walk home after her tantrum had stopped, 2 black vans pulled into the driveway and a couple of people got out of them and asked her to please get into a van, all while she began to scream and cry. Ever since that day, nobody in the town has ever seen her again, and many people wonder if she's even in the same state as us anymore. I hope that wherever she is now, it's in a good company that does a great job of turning people into productive members of society, and will make short work out of her awful personality for good. As for myself, my husband, and my daughter, we all made sure to move to the other side of town, which is much more of a wooded area, and a place where we could hide our location a lot more easily from Marv. Danny was still able to go to the same school after the move, and my husband and I were able to keep the lives we had before without having to throw much away. And actually, this move worked out perfectly for us anyway, because our house is not only a bit smaller, which is something my husband and I were starting to want as Danny will soon be leaving our house, but the yard is much bigger too. Now my husband can enjoy a lot of the outdoor activities he did in the past with his brother and dad, instead of having to stay all hunched up in the larger yet yardless house we had in the city.
Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.